Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game, Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today, though, we're going to be looking at a core mechanic of D&D itself. Specifically, we're going to be having a look at a subclass of the rogue, the thief rogue. This is a very classic archetype. The person who is primarily there to steal your stuff, or steal the stuff of the lord, or the king, or the wizard. They are there to steal, and their abilities all lean into this. I say, let's have a look-see at the mechanics and how well they stack up as a rogue in general. Now, at 3rd level, when you choose this subclass, you get the ability Fast Hands. Fast Hands upgrades your cunning action to let you do sleight of hand checks, use your thieves' tools, or use an object as a bonus action instead of a full action. They already have the cunning action ability that allows them to disengage, dash, and hide as a bonus action. This just soups that up more. One of the issues I take, though, is that the reason that you start talking about actions and bonus actions is because you're in initiative. When are you going to be doing sleight of hand checks while you're in an initiative count? When are you going to be using thieves' tools? I mean, I guess if you're, fighting and picking a lock at the same time, maybe, but when is that going to happen? Using an object is nice, because you can do things like drink potions as bonus actions, which so many people wish they could do. But I still think that this is a bit of a half-baked ability. These are things that, again, the bonus action concept comes down to, are you in combat? And these things just don't really help in combat much. So I give Fast Hands a 5 out of 10. The other ability you get is Second Story Work. When you get a climbing speed. Basically, climbing doesn't cost extra movement to do, and you can make longer running jumps. It makes you more athletic. This can be very handy when you're trying to scale a building, or in combat when you're trying to get away from enemies or get an advantage. Not bad. I give this a 7 out of 10. Then comes your level 9 ability, Supreme Sneak. When you get advantage on stealth checks, just permanently, if you move at half speed or less. Now, sneaking is a classic rogue thing. Most rogues have expertise in sneak just because they're rogues and they want to be sneaky. It's a classic stealthy archetype that most rogues take. Supreme Sneak means you get advantage basically on a stick just by moving a little slower, and it's usually worth it. Very rarely do you have to run across a place where speed counts, and often that grants you disadvantage on your stealth anyway because you're moving fast. If you're willing to slow down and take your time, gaining advantage on your stealth attacks, especially if you have expertise in it, is going to make you one with the shadows. This is a 9 out of 10 ability for sure. Then comes the Use Magic Device power, which is a bit of an odd one. You can ignore the race, class, and level abilities for magic items. Okay. This is nice when you find a magic item that you somehow manage to keep out of the sight of the magic users. Most magic users want magic items, or melee combatants want magic items so they can hit harder and defend better. Magic items are not the most common thing that rogues will use, but the fact that you can use ones that you don't have to worry about the fact that they need to be attuned by a wizard, or they need to be attuned by a cleric, or whatever, or that they only work for dwarves, or any other thing like that, because there are some magic items that follow those requirements. Those magic items aren't super common, but they're there, and being able to attune to them is not too bad. So I guess 7 out of 10 for Use Magic Item, or Use Magic Device. Finally, at level 17, your capstone feature here, is the Thieves Reflexes power. Thieves Reflexes say that you can take 2 turns in the first round of combat. One at your initiative count, and one at your initiative minus 10. So you get to go twice in the first round. This is not something that lasts long, but it can matter all of it. because every turn that you take, you can use sneak attack. It's not a per round thing, it's a per turn thing. So if you have a high initiative count, high enough that you get to take both your turns before the enemies go, which as a rogue is pretty likely, you could potentially get your sneak attack off twice as a high level rogue. That's something. And granted, this is only the first round of combat, but still, taking 2 turns is sometimes all you need. Whether it's a setup and execution, or whether it's just 2 straight up sneak attacks, you're doing wonders with that first round of combat. I give this a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. There are 9th level spells that give you multiple turns in a row, the time stop spell specifically. This just is a non-magical way to do that every single turn, every single combat. So, 10 out of 10. Overall, when you crunch the numbers, the Thief gets an 8 out of 10. They're a very classic rogue, with some useful abilities, a couple duds in there, depending on how you look at it. But all in all, I say that they're a worthwhile rogue to check out. Very powerful, especially sneaky, and they live up to their name, being able to use all the magic items they can find, and stealing things, keeping their favorites. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more subclass reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.